guys, welcome back to Rossoneri TV. I'm Gio and I'm alongside Adamo for a post-transfer window discussion regarding Berlusconi and Galliani. Now, yesterday, we kind of spoke about it in the live stream, talking about these two characters that really weren't able to solve our midfield problem. And speaking about that, who is really at fault between these two for not being able to sign the complete midfielder that we need so much in this team? Now, AC Milan spent about 90 million euros in this transfer window, but only around 23 million euros were spent on the midfield. Now, this, of course, included the signings of Bertolacci for 20 million, Kuchka for 3 million, and Jose Mauri pretty much for free, in which was pretty much the only area where I think we need to spend the most, considering the fact that the midfield is probably the most important area of any specific team. We all know that a creative midfield will win you matches and in all sorts of help as well for the entire team. Now, really, in my opinion, when you're not well covered in the midfield, you can really see the deficiencies. And this is not just for Milan, just any team in general. Like we even saw it with Juventus after letting go Vidal and Pirlo, along with the injuries to Khedira, Marquisio. Their game just started to slack, and it wasn't the midfield that we knew for the past few years that just dominated in every match in the Serie A. But this is just one of the many examples that we can make just to see how important the midfield really is. Now, in my opinion, Milan never had a specific plan for the midfield in this transfer market, and we actually saw it with their lack of conviction in certain choices that they made. But Adamo, who's to blame in your opinion? Berlusconi, that decided to block any type of big investment in the last day of the Mercato, along with the fact that the coach's decision, I guess, Mihajlovic, doesn't really matter to that point, as we saw that he wasn't even convinced in signing Soriano. Or is a major problem maybe Galliani, that wasn't able to find better deals or be more convincing with transfer talks, like when we saw Milan losing out on Kondogbia, or him taking the last minute resort, as he would usually do in every transfer window, and talk to Preziosi in Genoa?
Well, if you ask me, I think the blame kind of has to go to both of them. Berlusconi could have easily just invested a little bit more, and we could have signed a player like Witsel, or Galliani could have saved money here and there that could have led up to us signing a player like Witsel, for example, in the midfield. Galliani as well, not making the right decision, spending more in other areas where we could have saved and spent the most in the midfield. Because, as you said, the midfield is what dictates play. The midfielders have to attack. The midfielders have to defend. And when you have no proper midfield and you just jumble a bunch of players in there, you can definitely see the holes. And, it puts a lot of pressure on the players like De Jong, for example, having to play multiple roles in the midfield, having to be that rough bulldog, having to be the playmaker. He pretty much has to do it all, which is why, he kind of lacks in some games because all the pressure's on him rather than other midfielders. But it wouldn't be the case if Milan did sign a player like Witsel, for example, or even Soriano. So I think the blame has to go to both of them. Berlusconi, as I said, could have spent more, and Galliani could have saved more.
Yeah, definitely. And Witsel came out today saying that he was hoping for a move away from Zenit. He was actually really waiting for that move. And in the end, Zenit themselves never got a replacement of a player that could play in Witsel's position. So that is a big shame because we've actually been following Witsel for a really long time. For those who didn't know, it's not the first time that we're actually pursuing Witsel in this transfer window. We've been linked to him in previous transfer windows all around. So it's not really something new, and I wish we could have made something more out of it in this one. Now, you made a good point there regarding De Jong, which brings out to my next point in this discussion. Speaking about that playmaking position right now, as Montolivo remains pretty much the only playmaker that is in this Milan side, and Sky actually reported that Mihajlovic may actually try out Montolivo in front of the defense in that center mid role, while De Jong could play on the side. Now, I guess this is our really last hope, our last resort in hoping of a revival for Montolivo while De Jong could play on the side. Could this be a solution to our playmaking problem, in your opinion? Will you be willing to risk this right away, as we're not really left with any choice?
Well, I mean, as you said, we're not left with many choices, so I think we're going to have to really jump in the deep end and, try it out for a game or two and see how Montolivo really performs in that role. We've seen in previous years he was able to fulfill that role about 2-3 years ago. But after his injury, after the Euros, he really fell off a cliff pretty much and was not even half the player he used to be. Because back then I would have taken that Montolivo over pretty much anybody in this midfield. But now today's Montolivo is very, very lackluster, lazy. He doesn't really have as good vision as he used to. So I think, Montolivo is going to really have to step up his A game. In times where, players are marking him kind of like people would want to mark Pirlo at Juventus, having to know that he's the playmaker, so you got to lock him down. He's got to be able to find time and space in proper areas, which is what a playmaker is supposed to do. So I think a lot of pressure is going to be on Montolivo as well. I think we should definitely try it out. I don't know when we should, because we've got a lot of big games coming up. I don't know if we should try it in the Derby, because that's a massive game, probably one of the biggest of the season. But I think Milan should definitely try it out, see how it goes, and maybe kind of motivate Montolivo to be that new signing that Galliani always says.
Yeah, hopefully things turn out right for us Milan fans, for the team in general. But right now it is a risk to play Montolivo in that middle, since he hasn't been playing in a long time. So to just throw him in the Derby like that, I think it's a bit not cautious at all. So guys, let us know who you think is at fault for these last few days where we weren't able to sign that complete midfielder that we needed. Is it Galliani or is it Berlusconi? Also, what do you guys think about Montolivo playing in front of the defense? Could his role be revived? Could De Jong play on this side? Let us know as well in the comment section below. On that note, thank you for watching. This has been Gio and Adamo signing off from Rossoneri TV. Don't forget to subscribe to stay updated with everything AC Milan, and we'll catch you guys later. As usual, Forza Milan!